So this is a developing engaging social media. It's part of the Accelerate Business Support Programme delivered by Kent and Medway Growth Hub. The Kent and Medway Growth Hub has many financial and non-financial initiatives that are available to local small and medium enterprises. Please speak to us in the networking, or please place it on the chat, and there is further assistance available, and we will put you in touch with the right people. I'm Brian Pinnell. I am one of the programme managers for Smarter Society. Some of you may have spoken to me recently about this event and so on. There are other events that we have in the series. So again, if you've signed up via Eventbrite, if you click follow, it will bring up the other events for you. As I said, following the presentation, there will be a Q&A session at the end and other support that is going to be available to you. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Zoe Cairns of SC Social Media, who's the main presenter. And there will, like I said, questions afterwards. Many thanks. Cheers. So it's touchscreen.
Brilliant. Oh, perfect. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome online. Welcome in the room. I'm Zoe Cairns, and it's great to be here. What an amazing building. For those of you that are online, you're definitely missing such an amazing building here. It is just, when you come in, it's just got a really great vibe, hasn't it? So I'm here this morning to talk to you about how to develop engaging social media. Something that people always say to me, how can I get more engagement? How can I get more interactions and more conversions from the social media that we're putting out online? As it's really important right now, because how many of us really want more leads for our business, right? So that's what I'm here to help you with, and hope that you at least take at least one nugget away from it. So for those of you that don't know me online and offline here, I'm Zoe Cairns. I'm based in Rochester in Kent, so I am a Medway girl, proud to be part of the Kent and Medway Growth Hub. Well, 15 years ago on Monday, I left my job. I was a mortgage broker before, and I set up my agency, ZC Social Media. I now travel all over the world, although COVID did put a little bit of stop to that, because a lot of this is now like hybrid online or a little bit of face-to-face. I do some TV and radio as well. So if you don't know about me, you can go and Google me. I do dominate Google when you type my name in, which is a good thing apparently for SEO. But yeah, go and check me out. So let's get straight into it, because this is about you, not about me. I want to talk to you about how to create engaging content that you can start putting out online. Like Brian mentioned, I can take questions at any point, whether you're here in front of me, put your hand, like raise your hand, or just speak out. And remember, no question is a silly question. I started from the scratch when it comes to social media. I got put into Facebook jail for spamming groups. I got told off for Twitter for following too many people. So I've been there, okay? So just feel relaxed in this environment. I know that you in the room might think it's being recorded. Don't worry about it. Just ask away. And for those of you online, you've got the space to ask those questions throughout. I think it's really important for you to answer them in that moment, because then it allows me to then expand on it. So I've put a bit of a quote here. By planning your social media content ensures you don't miss out on great content opportunities. And this is so, so true. And the reason being is because there'll be days, and I may have missed the odd awareness day or theme that's going on. But when you're pre-planned, when you plan your content and you start to either look at over a 90-day period and even a year overview, you start to see what you can plot in, whether your business is seasonal, whether it's got different products you're launching, whether you've got an event coming up. You can really pre-plan and really get the most from social media. So for example, when I first started out, we wanted to run an event, like Smarter Society obviously do this really well, but we wanted to run an event. And I put one post out about it. This is when I was really new, back in 2012, and no one turned up. And like Brian just said to you, you've got to get a lot of registrations to at least get one person. Now I'm promoting my events at least 90 days before, and we always get a good turnout. So social media is not just about putting that random post out. It's about pre-planning and leading up, building the buzz if you've got campaigns. And I really emphasize this. And the reason being as well, people go, well, I put a post out about it. One post is not enough. Your audience might have not have been online at that time. They might not have, it might have gone further down in their feed. The algorithm might not have reached that, allows your post to reach that person. Does this make sense? So don't ever feel like you're getting in front of people too much, because I think it's better to get in front of them too much so you're at the front of their mind than it is if you're just doing one post, okay? The other thing, and I'll just add in here, being pre-planned, is that some people will put a post out and they'll think, right, one post is enough, when actually they've not posted for weeks before. And what happens is, if you don't post on social media, your impressions really drop down. So if you're not consistent, your impressions will drop. Okay, and the further they get down, the less impact your posts will have when you post. Does that make sense? So when you go and post that important message, you think, right, I've got to post out there, it's not going to have as much impact unless you are really consistent with your posting. Does that make sense? So really important, be planned, and you won't miss out on those great opportunities. I'm going to share different tools with you today that will help you in that planning process. With the resources, so Smart Society have got a great leaflet of content they put together to send out to you, and obviously they've got the slides as well. I've got my 7 steps to content plan a minute, which I always go by. We even do this with our clients. We'll work through these 7 steps when we're putting content together. But they've got the resources as well. And I've got a few other things I can send across to Brian that he can put out as well. Brian, go for it. Question.
Danny Gladish, can you post too much?
Oh, really good question, Danny. You can, so it depends on what platforms you're putting it on. So every different platform has a what's the right word that I'm going to use here? Oh God, I've gone blank. Every platform, I'm trying to find the right words. You'll know by me now that, well, you'll get through the presentation and you'll realise that I don't find the right words. Okay, so right, so time decay, I've got it. So that time decay, I call it. On a platform, there's a time decay of your post, right? So if you think about it, when you post out on Instagram, you've probably got around 4 to 6 hours for your post to be seen, and then it'll slowly start dropping off the feed, right? Facebook, I believe, is a little bit less than that. LinkedIn, I've seen my content that I posted out, like it's still getting engagement from like 2 weeks ago. So it's got a longer, I call it time decay. You can call it what you want, but that's my words. And then YouTube is all the time. People can, it'll come up. If people are searching for it, it comes up in YouTube. Now, posting too much, I would say the minimum you need to be posting is daily, right? To keep consistency. But if you need to do a minimum and you haven't got the capacity, the time and resources to do that, I would say at least 3 times a week, because that keeps the consistency going. Your platforms get used to you then posting 3 times a week. But if you want to do more, do more. And what I say is the people that are interested in your content and really want to consume your content will follow you and be, absorbing and consuming your content. That's what you want. You don't want people that are not interested. And people always say to me, oh, I've had unfollows. Don't worry about it. I'd rather a really targeted, interested audience than having followers that don't really care. When you start to get many unfollows based on the frequency of you posting, I would then want you to question the quality of your content rather than the quantity. Does that make sense? So, for example, at the moment, in order to accelerate growth on Instagram, you need to be posting at least 2 reels a day and doing 3 stories a day, right, to accelerate growth. But businesses can't do that. No, some businesses can if they've got a dedicated team, but if you're working on your own and you're a small business, that can be quite time consuming. So I don't think you can bombard people too much. I think it's that you keep in the forefront of people's mind. I think do it and just monitor the metrics. And I'm a really passionate one about metrics. If you don't monitor the metrics, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And this is what's really important. And you always use the quote by Henry Ford. If we always do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. So if we don't change it, what happens is we'll get the same thing. So monitor your metrics. If you don't have time to do that every day, I would do it at least once a month. I hope that answers your question, Danny. Let me know if you've got any more follow-ups. Okay, so I will be sending over resources to Brian. He's already got some of my resources, but any resources I mentioned, I've got a target audience sheet that I think a lot of you would really find useful. I'll also send that to Brian to give out to everyone. Now, 7 steps to content planning. This is the process. You can take a picture. If you're online, take a screenshot. This is the steps that I would go through. What happens is normally, sorry, my T is on the other line. What happens is a lot of people will go through step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then stop at engagement and measurement. They don't do those other bits. They just let their content go out. And we're going to concentrate on why they're important when we get to them. But these are the steps that I would really be thinking about when you're creating your content. And at the beginning here, I'm going to say to you, I would be looking at doing your content and having a plan for every 90 days. And the reason I say that is because you're not going to miss out on those opportunities. Okay. And that gives you about 12 weeks. So we're going to go through goals and objectives. So what you're trying to achieve. And for those of you that are online and offline, if you haven't got a business plan yet, and I'm sure, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but I don't know whether you've had a business plan session yet or not really sure.
It could well be planned in the future.
Yeah. So if there is a business plan one, I really urge you to get on that, because business plans are really important to understand where you want to know where your business is going to go. Because without vision and goals for your business, how do you know what you want your social media to achieve for you? So what normally happens is someone will come to me and they go, we're doing social media, but we're getting the wrong type of leads. And I'll say, right, okay, what are your goals? Where's your plan? And they go, well, we haven't got one. And then they're putting out the wrong messages and attracting the wrong type of people to their services, their offers, their downloads. Does that make sense? So having a business plan, and I don't mean like, and forgive me if there's any business banking people on the call, I don't mean like a 30-page business plan. You might just have a 1 to 2 page plan of where you want where your business to go and what your key focuses is. So say, for example, you've got a range of services and products. You might have 2 focuses that you really want to push this quarter. And that's really important, because what are you going to push on social media? Those 2 things. Does that make sense? So business plan, really important. Goals, your social media goals need to be aligned with that business plan in order for you to get results. Okay, so we're going to look at the goals and objectives. We're going to look at who your target audience are and what platforms they might be on. How many of you have completed a target audience sheet already? If you haven't, I hope that you do by the end of the month. That'd be amazing. So you know who your audience are. Because what happens if you don't know who your audience are? Number 1, you won't create engaging content that resonate and relates. And number 2, you might be engaging on the wrong platforms, thinly spreading yourself across too many, and again, not getting results. And this is why that's really important. Make sense? Okay. So understanding your audience is really key. Understanding their pains and challenges. So when you post on social media, you're providing them a solution to the pain and challenges that they have. So they look at the post and they go, wow, that person really understands me, or that business really understands the challenges that I'm having. Okay. I'm then going to show you how to do a bit of research around how you might find different topics around your or different pains and challenges around the key focus points that you are looking to focus on, and then talk about a calendar plan. We'll then talk about scheduling and any tools you might be using. And then we're going to talk about engagement, which is really, really key. If you're not engaging, then you definitely won't grow. There's two things that when platforms look at you, they'll determine whether you're a broadcaster or whether you are an engager. If you are a broadcaster, and you only go and create your posts and you schedule them in a scheduling tool and you don't go in the platform at all, that will have a negative effect as to what you are doing. Make sense? So the algorithm will say, is this person coming into the platform? Are they making their community feel part of a community? Are they engaging on other people's pages and posts? And that will be a contribution to to your reach as to how much reach you actually get for your posts. So if you're just broadcasting messages, they won't show as many people your posts. If you're going into the platform and engaging with people, then they will show more people your posts. I'm going to give you a really big tip here. So if you've got your notepad and pen, always engage 15 minutes before you post. Now, for some businesses, that can be a little bit challenging if you're out and about, you're on site or you're delivering training. But if you can do it, engage 15 minutes before you post, that is going to give you the opportunity for those people to think, oh, someone's engaged with me. They might come look at your profile. But if they've engaged back, they may see your post in their feed. And that's going to get you more eyeballs on your content. Make sense? And then we're going to talk about measurement. And if any of you measure, and any questions around measurement, Brian.
Libby Meadows, should you engage on a business platform and personal?
So my question back to Liv would be, is she a business or a personal brand?
Okay, so yeah, but when
We'll
she
wait
comes
for her to come back.
both, she is.
Oh, she's both.
Yeah.
So, bit like me, Liv. So I'm a business. So I've got a business entity, social media, and I've got a personal brand. I mix it up because if you want to be the face of your brand, your business brand, then I believe people need to know about your personality. They want to see behind the scenes. So I would do a mixture of both if you can. Predominantly, I put a lot of my messaging out from my personal brand and share my business stuff onto my personal brand. And on my business, every now and again, I'll share any. So say, for example, I done a video of come with me today, like to the Coach Works. I would post that on my personal brand because it's about what I've done today. But I would also post it to my ZC social media account because it's showing that I'm out about doing social media training. Does that make sense? So I think there needs to be a mixture of both, especially if you want your personal brand to be the face of the business. However, I'm no business coach. I would say that if you think about your vision of what you want for your business, if you want to sell your business later on, that might be an issue if you're bringing your personal brand into the business. I hope that makes sense. But any further questions, let me know. And I'm sure there's some business coaches either in the room or online that can help you with that as well. Okay, perfect. So let's talk about your social media wish list and your goals. For those of you that are online, I'd love to see some interaction in the chat about what you would love to achieve when it comes to your social media and what are your key goals. And then for those of you at the room, if anyone wants to share, what do you really want to get from social media? What are some of your key goals? Now, remember I mentioned this is about really aligning your goals with your business plan. Go for it, Brian.
Anonymous attendee, I've never used social media personally or for business before. I'd like to start an Instagram account for my new business. What should be my first steps?
Oh, I love it. First steps, complete your profile. So when you go into Instagram, remember we all get like a first impressions count, right? And I always say this about LinkedIn as well. Very much the same for Instagram. The first thing that you want to do when you set up your account on Instagram is make sure your bio is fully complete, meaning what is your username? Is it keyword rich? Make sure you've put your name on there. Make sure you've got in your first line of your bio how you're going to help other people. So what are you going to help them with? What are they going to find out from you when they follow your Instagram account? Most importantly, how do they find out more information about you? So put in relevant links in that bio as well. Because when you start to go and engage, guess what's going to happen? People are going to come back to your profile. And if you've got all of the information on there, and you've done that already, you've made a good first impression. Now, the other thing I want to say as well when you first start out, you may not have posted a lot, and there's something on there called Instagram stories. What was the person's name again? Oh no, Anonymous. I'll call you Anonymous. So when you first start out, you won't have done as many posts. But what you can do very quickly that disappear within 24 hours is stories on there, something called stories. And come and follow me on Instagram. I do like little video tutorials all the time. There's reels on there. But with stories, when you post on a story, it will disappear in 24 hours. But you can go and archive that into a story highlight that sits across the top of your Instagram profile. Everyone know about this, yeah? And story highlights sit across. Now, I will give you some news. We've just been notified by Meta that story highlights are going to be disappearing into your feed. So, you know, when you click on your little Reels tab, you've got all of your Reels. You know, when you click on your little grid tab, you've got all of your grids. Well, there's going to be a little tab for all stories, story highlights. So they're going to disappear from the top. So if in a few weeks' time you think they've disappeared, you know why. They've just gone into the feed in a tab. But in the meantime, Anonymous, what you want to do is just make sure that you take your stories and put them into story highlights. That might just be a few testimonials of your work. It could be how people find out more about you. It could be some of your products in there, just to showcase some of that if people then come and look at your profile. That would be the first place that I would start. Make sure your profile is fully complete, because you'll really only get that one initial chance. If you go in and connect with someone and they come back and want to connect with you, they will look to see whether you are a genuine account, and they'll look at your picture, they'll look at your bio, and they'll check to see if your links look legit. I hope that's all right. Brian?
Question from Beatrice. I'd like to grow my following on social media and then turn those followers into a river clients.
River client?
Yeah, I presume that's the business, as in, you know, turn them into clients.
Right, so you're looking at conversion then. So you're getting your followers, and followers now are vanity metrics. Okay. I'm not fussed about how many followers you've got. I'd rather you have 1,000 followers and they're really engaged and you get conversions from it, than having tens of thousands of followers and you get nothing from it. It's more important to have really engaged audience. Now, what you need to think about, Beatrice, is that how are you then taking those followers and converting them? So creating good content that engages your audience and then allows you to then outreach to them to then convert them. What have you got that you are enticing them with? Are you giving them a free download that answers a solution to their problem, as an example? So be interesting to know what you do, Beatrice. Let me know in the comments, because I can give you some ideas when we get through later on. But I would have some sort of lead magnet that you then promote on your social media very subtly. Not right, you know, not every post should be promotional, 1 out of 4. And then make sure then that you're then promoting your download and your stories with a link to then get those followers into your email list that you can then nurture and sell to. I hope that makes sense.
The Anonymous, thank you for your answer, super helpful. We have one from Lynn, which I think we'll take at the end.
Okay.
It's a bit more in depth with regards to, I tried to set up an Insta for the company I work for, but I didn't want to use my personal account. So I used a new email. The account I tried to set up somehow got blocked. So does it have to be from a personal account? Is that,
Okay.
is that
I would say an end one,
Yeah, so
yeah.
we'll
I'll
do-
definitely
yeah.
come back to you at the end.
We'll answer that one at the end.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's a bit technical and I'll answer at the end, and I'll think about it as we're going through.
What we'll do is quite a few coming through now, so I think we'll
Good.
continue with this.
Yeah,
and
of course, yeah,
I'll
that's
answer
all right.
these at the end if we
Yeah.
can.
So I want you to think about your goals. What are you trying to achieve? So anyone here in the audience got any key goals that they would love to achieve with social media? All right.
Reach a wide audience.
Reach a wider audience. I mean, I've got a tactic straight away for that. I want to make sure that I stay on time. I'm all right for time, aren't I, Brian?
Yeah, you could, yeah, so I think we'll do the questions at the end because it gives you an opportunity.
Yeah.
to concentrate on that then.
Yeah, so yeah, reach and visibility. Anyone else? Oh, good, that's good. I'm glad that lady in the audience just said I've covered them already, which is great progress. Anyone else? Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm looking for small, medium-sized businesses within the Kent area.
good.
So I'm interested in techniques for sort of local type
Perfect.
engagement.
So a gentleman here in the audience is looking for Kent and Kent small businesses in the local area, which is a really good one for visibility. And I've got loads of tips as we go through that on content. So I will give you, and visibility, definitely. Anyone? And I saw a hand over here. Yeah, go for it.
Reaching different age groups.
Reaching different age groups. That is a brilliant one as well. I want to answer all these questions now, but I'll go for it. Go on.
Just to make sure that I'm collaborating with sort of like-minded
Yeah, good.
sort of health professionals.
Love that one. I would start with that one as well by engaging with other health professionals and finding them and engaging them and building like a really nice little network of you that engage with each other. Does that make sense? That will expand the reach of what you're doing. So some really good goals here, and hopefully you might have put some of yours in the chat as well. But goals are really important. When we talk about goals, I want you to make sure that they're smart. Loads of people will just say, I would like to increase my following, or I would like more reach and visibility. Well, how much reach and visibility do you want? Where do you want that reach and visibility? What deadline do you have on that reach and visibility? Does that make sense? So really important to make sure that you keep them smart. So you make sure they're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, realistic and timely. Because if they're not, you'll go, well, my goal was to get more followers, but it hasn't happened. But you've got 20 followers. Does that make sense? You have achieved more followers. So you've got to be specific. So if someone says, I would like to increase my followers, a smart goal would be increase my followers by 500 on Instagram in the demographics of this by this date. Make sense? That's a specific goal. And if you write that down, you can measure it. It's a measurable goal. So if I said to you, think about your goals, are they measurable? If they're not measurable, then you need to make it smart. Everyone okay with that? Any questions on goals? Good. I always think about, if you're not too sure what social media can achieve for you either, I always take these 3 categories that I want you to think about, especially if you're starting out. I know that we've had a couple of questions from online of people that have just started their business. When you're thinking about social media goals, these are the 3 areas that I always say to you, have a think about, you know, what you could have as an each goal in each area. So number 1, the area is awareness, building visibility and reach. Like, what goal would you have around that? Because if no one knows about you, who's going to join your community and who's going to go to your website, right? People need to get to know who you are, need to get to know your brands. Have a goal in that area. The second goal to have an area in is building your community. That don't necessarily need to be followers. It could just be increasing your engagement rate, the amount of people that are engaging with you. And I don't mean the vanity metric likes. 100 likes don't equate to lots of money in the bank, okay? I mean, it could be silent engagers. There is something called silent engagers. Most of the people on my LinkedIn who are looking and viewing my profile, reaching out to me as a lead, are not engaging on my posts. And so therefore, it's not just about likes and comments. It's about what they're doing on the back end of your social media. Does that make sense? How many people you're getting in your email list? How much engagement you are getting? How many conversations you've got going? I'd rather you measure those than how many likes you've got. Make sense? I know likes and comments will get you more visibility, but more visibility doesn't equal profit. You want to actually monetize what you've currently got as well. Make sense? The third area is traffic, okay? Traffic to your website, traffic to the landing page of someone to download your free download. Traffic to a survey for you to get research. It could be traffic for you to get people registered on an event. Make sense? Having a specific one. And so if you think about it, until people know about you, they won't automatically like you because I want to get to know you first. Then they'll like you by joining your community. And then once they trust you, they'll then take action. So having a goal in each of those 3 areas is so key. Makes sense? And that's where I would start out. You know, really doing those for the next 3 to 6 months and monitoring your results. Start there. Okay? Hope that's all right, everyone. So let's talk about target audience. Once you know your goals and what you want to achieve, it's then thinking about who are your target audience. Okay? And sometimes when I have the person that I go, everyone could be my target audience. So, and then I say to them, think about an experience with one of your worst clients. Is that your ideal client? They go, no. And so what I say to people is think about the worst scenario and the best scenario. And I want you now to really analyze that best ideal client. Does this make sense? And I want you to just note down. And what I did when I first started, I thought every business was my ideal client. And I soon realised that not every business was my ideal client, because some would have internal teams, others wouldn't need my help, or they'd go and do the research themselves. And I soon started to think about who my ideal client was. And so I've got something called a target audience sheet that I'll send over to Brian to send out to you, that you can map out all of who your target audience are. I want you to go into age groups. I want you to go into locations that are really important. So you mentioned about Kent, but there might be like little pockets within Kent that could be your ideal location. So if you were trying to target medium-sized businesses, is there different business parks that you could target? And you can do something on Facebook ads that just targets that particular area. Does that make sense? So think about age groups and locations. What radio shows do they listen to? A bizarre one, but what do they listen to? Are they following a particular feed? Are they in a relevant group to that radio show? Do they engage on X or on a Facebook group when that radio show's on? Or when someone, and this is where I found a few of my audience members from, when a new podcast is released, like a new video podcast, I've been using YouTube, because as soon as the video's dropped on YouTube, all of their audience are engaging, and it's a great way to engage with my ideal audience. Make sense? I've actually met some really great people by doing it all across the world. So I want you to think about what radio shows they listen to, what podcasts they listen to. I want you to think about what magazines they might read. So if you were a pet business, is there a certain magazine that they read there? And is there an online community for them? I want you to think about what national bodies they might be part of. So if they're a lawyer, are they part of a law society? If they are a small business, are they part of the Kent and Medway Business Growth Hub? Part of Smart Society? Are they part of the Kent and Victor Chamber of Commerce or FSB? I want you to think about all of those things, because these are really important, and just analyse who they are. But most importantly, with the target audience, I want you to think about their pains and their challenges. Now, I do this quite independently in terms of every 90 days that I'm doing this, I'll sit down with a pen and paper. I won't go online initially, and I'll write down all of the questions, like these questions that Brian's been putting his hand up and asking me from the online, and questions you might have asked me. Guess what? They're great social media posts for me. Brilliant social media posts. They're great blog posts, videos for YouTube, all of that type of stuff. They're great reels. What I want you to do is think about all the questions that your target audience have asked you recently. And I want you to write them down just off the top of your head. Don't want you to go near to any electrical device. I just want you to think about, and I want you to think about how they have asked you them. How have they asked you those questions? What are the words that they've specifically used? Like one of mine is, people go, I'm really struggling as to what to post. Can I post too many times? There's some of the words that my audience are asking me. And I'm a brand where, people say, my brand's got a tone of voice and language. I get that. But if you're not writing your content in what will resonate with your audience, you won't really get anywhere with engaging content. You need to make sure that you're delivering content that speaks to your audience. Does this make sense? So I want you to write down, I get a big, I love brainstorming anyway, but I get a big piece of paper and I write it all down. I've got a remarkable now because I'm thinking about being more eco-friendly, but I write down all of my remarkable, and then I use online to go and look at in my emails what questions people might have asked. I go and look in my Facebook groups and type in the question mark. I've got a survey come up there, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I might look at webinars I've done. I might look at feedback forms I've given. I think about all of the areas that I've had questions from, and I just write them all down. And all of those are my social media posts, because I'm speaking to my audience. And the way that you then break it down into content in a way that they consume it is what makes that engaging. Any questions around this? No? Does this make sense? Perfect. So there are some tools online that you can use to do this as well. So there's a tool that I love. How many of you have heard of answerthepublic.com? Oh, no one in the, oh, brilliant. Well, I'm definitely going to teach you something today in the offline world. On the online world, I bet a few of you have heard of it. But answerthepublic.com, I'm going to show you a demo as well. I pleaded with Brian earlier to say, can I show the internet? So I'm going to give it a go. And I'm wondering if I can go on here and stop share.
Stop share.
Well, you know, with the poll, do I just click on the little cross?
Just ignore it.
Just ignore it, yeah?
Nice.
I don't want to click it off.
Get rid of that. If you stop share.
Yeah.
If you share, and then the website.
Perfect, brilliant. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, it should be. So that can be seen.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to that website.
That's
you just-
amazing. Brilliant, that's great, thank you. So answerthepublic.com, there is a paid version of it, but I've always used the free version, okay? I'm not expecting you to go away and pay for it because as small businesses, we want to try and get as many tools for free, right? Keep those costs down. So Answer the Public I've been using for many years. And recently a guy called Neil Patel took it over and he's completely revolutionised how it looks and where he gets the research from. So what Answer the Public does is it tracks what questions people ask Google about a particular topic or subject that your topic or your focus areas are based on. Does this make sense so far, right? Well, what Neil Patel's done, he's actually expanded it now that it will track what people say on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Amazon. So what Amazon products people are looking for as well, especially if there's any people online that are doing affiliate marketing as an example. And it's great because what it does, when you type in a couple of keywords, it will come up with a mind map of all of the questions that people are asking Google about your topic or subject. Does that make sense? And in the middle, it says about cost per click if you were doing ads of how much it would cost. But in the middle, it's got like little orange circles. And the darker the orange, the more popular that question is being asked. Now, you get up to 3 searches for free every day. Okay, so if you're doing your research, you'll write a little tab on my content planning. If you're doing researching your content, this is a great opportunity to do. And what I love is when you do the search, it allows you to download the image so you can keep it. Okay, I'm all good to go, Brian, yeah?
Yes, so the people in the room can see as well.
Oh, perfect. So what I'm going to do is, this is it here, answerthepublic.com. In the middle, you've got a search bar, and then you've got your different, I call them search engines at the top, but I always stick with Google. You can then obviously change them around when you try this at home, but I'll stick with Google for this demonstration. What you then want to do is take 1 to 2 keywords of your topic and type them into the search bar. Now, if you're an international business, for any of you, if you want to change the country and you're trying to get into France or Germany or America, it'll give you what people are looking for in that area. Does this make sense? I'm hoping Neil Patel maybe at some point will start breaking it down in the UK and being a little bit more specific in different areas based on location, which would be amazing if he did. But so what we're going to do is we're going to type in 2 keywords. Someone give me their business. Anyone?
Strength coach.
What's it?
Strength coach.
Strength coach. So what would be a key increased strength?
Online coaching. People, I'm trying to spot people who are searching for online coaches.
So online coaches as in for strength.
Yeah.
Right, give me, so that's really broad.
Yeah.
So just for the camera, someone in the audience does strength coaching. But if we just put online coaching, that could cover business. Yeah. So give me something a little bit more specific. The more specific we are, all right, the results might be a little bit less, but they'd be more targeted. Does that make sense?
So choose one of the things I specifically coach.
Yeah, yeah.
Powerlifting.
Powerlifting, let's do that. I'm going to type in the search powerlifting. Powerlifting. lifting. Well, let me make sure that I write it right. And I'm going to click on that search bar. And what it's going to do is going to go and find all of the questions that people ask Google that are similar to powerlifting. Oh, it's got 2 questions. Normally we might have 50 on there. So what is a powerlifting belt for? And what are the main muscles you should use to power when lifting? Now, we maybe have been a little bit broad, or a bit more too specific. I don't know your topic too well. What you might do is just write down all of the key topics within your areas, and then just try different ones to see what you get. But what you would do, normally you might have, I would say a good search would have around 15 to 50 questions, depending on what you're looking for. And then what you can do, over in the top right of the image, you can go and click on Save Image and download it. And then I either put it on my Remarkable and highlight it, or your iPad, or you can print it off, highlight it, and then you can start mapping out some of those key questions. Does this make sense?
Really good.
In the middle, you'll see the little dots next to it, just here, right? The little dots, the darker the orange they get, you can probably just about see it. The little dots will tell you how popular they are. Now, how many of you have used Google for this? Anyone? Yeah, some of you have.
Yep.
So I hope it's all right, Brian. I'm just going to go onto Google on the same page.
Yep.
And I'm going to go google.com, and I'm just going to put in there powerlifting, right? And now what you get on Google, I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah.
This is just so powerful. Oh, it's perfect. We called it powerlifting. People also ask. So these are, Google's telling us people ask these questions as well. So people also ask, what is powerlifting workout? What is a powerlifting workout? What is powerlifting v weightlifting? I mean, that'd be a brilliant video. Imagine your Instagram reel. You know, this is powerlifting, this is weightlifting.
Yeah.
A little sort of like statement for each one, but that's the difference. And if that's a common asked question that people are asking about it, what is the difference? And you've done that. It's really good. What do you do in powerlifting? So it could be 5 things that you do in powerlifting.
Yeah.
This, and I'm making this up. You know, you could do like a little reel that was like 5 different ways of powerlifting. Yeah, go for it.
With that, I just something similar where I've made all these posts before. How soon would you then start remaking those posts again?
It's really good. Every 90 days, you could repurpose content, but there's a feature on Instagram, which is really new. You'll find the video on my Instagram feed, and it's called What is a Trial Reel? Tells you exactly how to do it. And on Instagram, they've just launched the feature called Trial Reels. This is really new. Some of you might not already have it yet. It's a new feature they're rolling out to all of us in the UK. US have had it like months. But Trial Reels is something called. So how many of you would like to get in front of new people? Reach and visibility, right? So what Trial Reels does is that when you go to create a reel, you go and create it as normal. You take a recycled reel that you've done before. Do it as though you're uploading it as a reel. And then when you get to the page where you post the reel, there's a little option that says trial and there's a blue sticker that says new, right? Makes sense so far? And trial reels, what it does is it won't show it in your feed. It takes the reel and only shows non-followers. Doesn't show any of your followers. So at the moment, the algorithm is working with trial reels to take your reel and show it to new people. Those new people will see your post. They might come back to your profile, join your community, or you might be building that brand awareness and that visibility in front of new people. Does that make sense? So I've been saying to people, look back over the last 90 days of all of your reels and just start posting them out to those non-followers that have never seen it before. Make sense? Capture those people again. Everyone all right with that? Yeah? Okay, so everyone okay with where you can start to get questions? I also go in Facebook groups. When you go on a Facebook group, I just put the question mark in. So I go into a topic, I'll join a group about a specific topic. And say, for example, like Kent Business, or it could be about a social media group that I've got for people as an example from maybe a few years ago. I'll just go and put in a little question mark in there, and it will show me all the questions that are people posted to that group. And I can go and create content from it. Makes sense. So Facebook, and I can never pronounce this word. Gareth's probably watching. I always pronounce it though. Do you remember Cura, the orange juice used to get? Cura. Well, it's Quorr. Quorr. Let me make sure I've got it right. I might be able to find it on here. Quorra. Sorry, let me do that. This here, Cura, is this is a forum full of people having conversations about different things. And if you go on there, you can have a free account, but if you was to just put your topic in there, you will see what people are asking the forum about that topic or subject for expertise. I do that as well. And then I just use the social media platforms, the searches in there. Find out what people are asking, and I just brainstorm all this stuff, like what's new, what was top, what got the most views. And TikTok desktop is amazing for this. If you're on TikTok, you're on TikTok desktop and you type in powerlifting, you can see all of the top reels and the ones that got the most views, and there you go. You probably get like a few good video ideas from that. You know, don't reinvent the wheel. Look at what's working out there and create content in that. Put your own take on it. Obviously, you're not going to copy, but you know, don't reinvent. You know, trying to do things that you know is going to take you more work to do. Share content that your audience really want to see. Make sense? Yeah. So, any questions around target audience? You want to find out their pains and challenges. We've got the use of AI now. AI, if you've got AI and anyone using ChatGPT, ask it, this is my audience, but don't just put my audience are small businesses. It could be any small business. My audience are small businesses that might need this particular service or product. What do you think that their pains and challenges might be? Allow it to ask you questions and see what it gives you. Okay? Right. I'm going to reshare. I'm going to stop share. And then I'm going to go back and reshare.
And then
Where's my little?
sorry, I have to adjust the screen properties.
Sorry. Thank you.
Is it there?
Just the next one. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so know your audience, know their pains and challenges. Okay, the next one is not making sure that when you go and do your research around content, that you're really thinking about your key focus areas. So remember I said to you, over the next 90 days, are there any key focuses that you want within the business? So it could be an event you're doing, it could be a program you're launching, it could be a new product. It could be even down to people within beauty. They might have a specific treatment that they're really pushing. So really think about what is important right now. So like, for example, January is normally when people want to start thinking about fitness and stuff like that. So I want you to think about what are your key focus areas? What key products or services do you want to push? And then I want you to think about the focus themes for them. So if I was to take powerlifting as an example, I'm sorry, I keep picking on you. I want to give you an example of someone in the audience rather than me. But if you take powerlifting, I would put, you know, like old spider diagrams we used to do at school, right? I would put powerlifting in the middle of a piece of paper or on your Remarkable or iPad. And on there, just start thinking about all of the things that you could talk about around powerlifting. And I've already covered this a little bit in audience, which is part of your research. But start to think about some of the key things that you could talk about around powerlifting. So what is it? What do you do? What are some of the risks or what are the benefits? Or just start thinking about all of those. Make sense? Stripping it back, yeah.
Thinking about someone who doesn't.
It's
know.
completely new.
Yeah.
And you've got to think about, like, if someone's completely new, what are their questions? And I find this really hard because where I'm so advanced in social now, it's really hard for me to go right back to the very basics, whereas Gareth is really good at that in our business. He'll go right back to the basics. So, and if you're not sure of what those things might be, I always say ask someone to ask you questions who don't know about it. So I always say I might pick on my sister or my mum, or I'll ask a friend, or if I'm at an event, I'll say, what do you think about this? What's your biggest challenge with that? And they go, oh, it's doing this, or I can't get into my account, or what do I do here? And I just, brilliant. That's fantastic. This is all really great content stuff. So focus on that theme. So say, for example, you're pushing powerlifting. The theme would be powerlifting as an example, and what are all the things that you could talk about around powerlifting? Because if you talk about all those things, all of those things can be then pulled back to then pushing your particular service or product. Does this make sense? Focus on those themes. And when you're focusing on those themes, really think about, oh yeah, got it. And really think about what are the pains and challenges for those people as well, and how are they expressing those pains and challenges around that. So it might be like, I suppose you're not medical, but someone might go, well, can I do powerlifting if I've had, well, perfect. Can I do powerlifting if I've had a previous like injury? Could be one of the things. If you've had a previous injury, actually, this could really help you. Yeah. All right. So think about those and just literally, I mean, I normally have, when I brainstorm now, I've probably got enough for a good 6 months. And how I'm honestly, how I map it out. So I'll do the 90 days, right? So if you think about 90 days, this is another presentation, which I think we should talk to the Smart Society about doing, is if you think about 90 days, if you use AI, you could actually break down one piece of content and it will turn it into 15. Right, I've got the prompts and stuff, and maybe if Smart Society will let me send it over, it will give you the prompts and stuff that you can use. But you know, you can turn one piece of content into 15. And this is what's great, because if you think about all of your questions and topics you've wrote down, if each one of those was a blog post, which is your main piece of content, you only really, over a 12-week period, if you're going to do a blog every other week, need 6 blogs. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so if you start to map it down, it's amazing how you can get a lot of content out of that brainstorming exercise. Okay, are you all good for questions and stuff?
We have quite a few questions.
Oh.
Do you want to attack some of them?
Yeah, let's
How
do-
many more slides have you got?
Oh, I think I'm on 12 of 20.
So just to get a couple out
Yeah,
of the
go
way,
on.
if we may. So Lynn, she's got a problem with, she works for a company, she wants to do an Insta account, but he insists on linking it to her. What's the ways around that?
So
The
if,
company's asked her to set up
Create.
Insta.
yeah,
It wants her details. She's used a separate email address for argument's sake, and it's blocked her. So does it have to be from a personal person? And then
No.
what happens? And then if she leaves the company, then what happens?
right, so what she needs to do, and my question back to you, Lynn, is are you setting that Instagram account up on your own computer that is memorizing your login details for Instagram? You can set an Instagram account up for a business with a separate email. You need to do that on the desktop, not the phone. If you do it on the phone, it's going to revert back to your mobile and your personal email, like your Apple ID, as an example, if you're on Android. So I would suggest you get onto a computer, onto a not influenced browser, and I would get you to go to instagram.com and set up an account with the business email address. And I don't know whether you've got a company WhatsApp or a company mobile number that can be associated to the account if I ask for the mobile number. And then what happens is once you've got the Instagram account, you can then connect that Instagram account to the Facebook page through something called the Meta Business Suite. Now, it sounds confusing, but you don't need to have it assigned to your personal profile. It'll be through the business account. Is that okay?
Beatrice has come, I tend to post what I've done at work during the day. I don't feel I'm very good at selling myself.
Oh, such a good question, Beatrice. Do you know, when I first started out in business, I was very much the same, but that's okay. I would say that the first 90 days of you getting online is purely giving great content. Giving great content for 90 days, like a 90-day sprint, is what I would say is the best thing to do before you start promoting yourself. And why? Because that will really build up a community. They'll love the content, and then they're ready for you to sell your product or service. Now, you, Beatrice, my question to you would be, how are you comfortable in selling? Is it on a webinar? Is it face-to-face? Is it online? Is it on a call? And then I would think about, if it's on a call, you can subtly start doing stories on Instagram to say book a call with you, or you could put it into your bio, or you could reach out to people. So think about the best way, or the way that you like to sell. And then what I would do, 1 out of 4 posts should be promotional. Really important. Otherwise, you're going to give great content, and then you'll do a disservice by not sharing what you can do to help them. And they'll go and learn from someone else. They'll go and buy someone else's product or service. So think about that. Yeah, go for it, Brian.
Sky, hello. If I have too many inactive followers, would it have a negative impact on the algorithm?
No, so if you've got too many inactive followers, so I wonder what platform, or maybe she's talking about Instagram. If we're talking about Instagram, you can basically what you want to do is monitor your engagement rate. Have a look at what your engagement rate is now. Your aim is to make sure that you are constantly making sure that any new followers are engaged. Any inactive, at a certain point, Instagram will have something called a clear out, where they'll say, right, we're going to get rid of a bunch of people that have not used their account in so long. And then they will get rid of those accounts. It won't have a negative effect on the algorithm. The algorithm will be looking at how you post, the content you're posting, whether it's engaging to the audience that are active. Okay, Instagram will know those inactive users.
Galpin, educate my audience and engage with them. I have no business interest, but I'm keen to educate those managing and planning town centres. That's what's on there, unfortunately.
So I would so a question there of just like you're interested in educating them but not engaging them. That's what I've got from that question. Engagement is such an important part of the social media. So if you don't like engaging, do you have a team member that you can delegate that to, or a VA or someone like that that you can delegate to? Because like I'm going to get to in a moment, it's all right posting amazing content, but if you're not engaging back, that'll have a negative effect on what you're doing, and you won't get as many eyeballs on your content. Okay.
Anonymous again, as a new social media user, I only have time to manage one social media platform, which is the most suitable for my business, selling laser printed personalised gifts and homeware.
Oh, that's a good one. I like the sound of the business as well. I would say Instagram, definitely. But it depends on who is your end user, suppliers and distributors, or are they end users? If they're suppliers and distributors, I would say LinkedIn. If they're end users, I would say Instagram, because it's very visual and you can do so many things like behind the scenes, all of that type of stuff. And concentrating on one social media platform is a really great move. I say to people, concentrate on one, get the best results from one, and then look at doing another one. Otherwise, if you try and do all of them, you'll thinly spread yourself across too many. Once you've got a good method for one, you can then go across to the other platforms. Go for it.
Yeah, sort of related to that, the previous 2 questions. Should you use a social media agency? So I've been offered I think it's 75 quid a month to post daily across 3 different platforms. It's quite enticing because it saves me a lot of hassle. But is it a good idea, and what do you look out for?
So the question, what was your name?
Time.
Simon's just asked here in the room, should he get a social media agency to post for him? First of all, obviously coming from a social media agency point of view, two things. I think social media agencies are great to get you up and running and building your online presence and visibility. Now, if your goals are to do the conversions, I would say that you really do need to make sure that your sales are aligned and that they're also helping with the engagement process of that aspect. So getting you up and running and consistently posting is good. I would question the £75 a month mark and what content they would be creating for that. As it's okay posting out daily with an image and a bit of text. Is that chat GPT or AI heavy? Would be my my question around that, because anyone could do it for £75 for every day with AI. Is it going to actually resonate with your audience and make a difference? My second thing would be, in not getting an agency, is that if you find someone in-house that actually is then doing all of your behind the scenes stuff, they know the business. So there's pros and cons of both. I mean, I've got clients that have been with us for 5 years, and what we do is that we always make sure the company's got something called a social media champion, that if you're going out doing things out and about, we've got like a WhatsApp that you would take, say you're here, you would take a picture that you're here, send it to us, and we would post it out. A lot of social media agencies won't do that, even after hours, as in example, if you're doing something in the evening. So I would ask the questions first. Are they just going to be posting based on AI content? Will there be video content that they're posting, because that helps with growth and visibility? Or is it just one content type? There's those I could answer those. Brian.
What are the excuse me? What are the right handles to use on Instagram to mention? Say, for instance, this webinar and maybe the Accelerate program.
Oh.
As in,
So,
what this is supplied by.
We've got Smarter Society.
Accelerate program.
I don't know, are you on Instagram?
I believe so.
Right, so at Smarter Society.
So if we could concentrate on the likes of the Accelerate program.
Has the Accelerator program got a hashtag?
Yeah, so is that the right, what would be the right
Yeah,
hashtag?
so what I would do, if you're doing a picture of your laptop with the Accelerator program slide, I would tag in, I would mention Smarter Society, hashtag Accelerator program, and at the little @ of Kent and Medway Growth Hub. And if you start to type them in, it will show you their names, and you can just click on them. I mean, you can mention me as well. Is that all right, Brian? You can do @ZCairns. Amazing. I can reshare it on behalf.
Webinars, would it always be ads?
I would always do ads. So, so 3 things when you tag things into stories or posts, right? Number 1 is the little @ sign, which is mention. It's like a mention sticker, it's called. Will actually tag someone in. And that tag means that they can go and reshare it to their story. Make sense? The hashtag will actually take that story and could potentially put it into a story about that topic in the Explore page. Right? So the hashtag might be Accelerator program. If it's UK-wide, there'd be a whole stream of the posts going on about the Accelerator program. And then if you want to put the location in as well, that's an even more of a bonus. So it actually spreads the message about the Accelerator program and the Kent and Medway Growth Hub and Smarter Society. If you put location and add Kent in there, so the location is Kent, I don't think you can do 2 locations at once. But what happens is anyone that's local in Kent, and this is a great one for you, when you tag the location in, people can see what stories. So there's something that used to be on Instagram that's now coming out again called location stories. And if I was sitting at Ashford International Station and the Kent story come up, I could click on it and it would show me all of the stories of people nearby. And then that will be great for getting out in front of people, to new people, building visibility. But I hope that answers the question as well, giving a bit of both there. Go for it, Brian.
It's always me, isn't it? Sorry, guys. Should you follow back everyone that follows you?
No, don't follow back everyone that follows you. I set myself parameters and I always say, do this yourself because everyone's goals are different, right? First of all, your ratio between how many people you're following and how many followers you've got should be the amount of people you're following should be lower than the amount of followers you've got, otherwise it looks spammy.
Yeah.
There used to be a scenario, I don't know if any of you remember this, called a follow unfollow strategy that people used to use to build their followers. Instagram in their community guidelines said do not do that. So make people go, oh, I'm going to go and follow 10 to 20 people this week in the hope that they might follow me back. And if they don't follow me back, I'm going to unfollow. Don't do that. Instagram will click on. They have tools now that they didn't have years ago that will monitor how quickly you're unfollowing people and if you're doing it too quickly. So that's the first thing. When set your parameters, look at people's profile. Could they be a potential customer? Could they be someone you could work with or collaborate with? Or could they be someone that is in your local area, part of a good network or connections? That's some of the parameters I'll put in place. Make sense? And if I'm feeling really like, oh, actually, I'm quite interested in what they do, I'd follow them as well. Yeah, go for it, Brian.
The online, they're very engaged.
I hope you
which
can
is
write this all
great.
down for me later.
They're all on Zoom, which is great. Is tagging companies we work with or collaborating with our customers on Instagram a good way to broaden our reach?
Oh yeah, as long as you've got permission. So I would say in that is that if you haven't got permission, I would definitely reach out, you know, in courtesy of the client, because the client might not want you to tag them in. Especially with some of my clients, I'm under NDA, non-disclosure agreement. So I'm not allowed to say that I'm part of their team or we're doing their social. So I would always reach out and ask their permission. Can I mention you in a post? Can I do a testimonial with you? And so therefore that gives me that permission. But then, big tip, whoever asked this, and for those of you in the audience, if you are mentioning them, when you create a reel, so say for example, like today, I've been here and I've taken photos. Later on, I'm going to go and post them on my Instagram. I would go and invite the Kent and Medway Growth Hub, the Accelerator Programme, Smarter Society as a collaborator of my post. So you can add collaborators. Now, what happens with that? Not only does it go out to all of my followers on my feed, like my feed can potentially see everyone. What it also does is if they accept it, they review and accept, it'll go onto their feed as well, potentially going out to their followers too. It's a great collaboration. Makes sense? Yeah? You got more?
Well, they're coming in thick and fast, but in a niche business, B2B, how can you make engaging content for a subject, let's say cybersecurity exercising, when you are not an LMS provider?
What's an LMS provider?
So anonymous attendee, if you could just ask,
Yeah.
what is LMS?
So
provider?
cyber security is an important topic. How can you make that engaging? I imagine that you're using LinkedIn, and the way that I would get leads. So we work with some non-sexy topic clients, that's not my hand if I say that, non-sexy clients. But what we do is we create something called polls on LinkedIn that we get people engaged in. 9 times out of 10, everyone will engage with a poll. Great thing about a poll is no one actually sees what you voted for, only the company. And that company can then reach out to those potential voters, and they could be leads. So I would do polls. I would create content. Like, for example, businesses do have thoughts around, you know, I mean, when I've had the thoughts around what happens when my team take their laptop with all of the content on and go into a cafe, now they're working remote, and log on to the Wi-Fi. What do I need to be aware about? These thoughts go into our heads, right? So this is the type of content I'd really urge you to start creating. And in a way of, I mean, you just got that question that I've asked. That is, you should create a carousel post on LinkedIn that says, if your team take their laptop to a cafe and log on to the Wi-Fi, this is what could happen. And that would be attract me to read that. At the back.
What's the difference between post and reel when it comes to engagement and targeting the audience, which is more?
Say that again.
What is the difference between reel and post on Instagram when you do target your audience or engage people? Which is more effective?
So I would do a mixture of both. So the success on Instagram is doing a mixture of both content. If you think about Reels as your visibility and reach to non-followers, so to your followers, but potentially non-followers as well. So Reels, I would say, like if you want to increase your reach and your visibility, really make sure you're continually to do Reels. And then with polls, you're engaging your existing audience. Does that make sense? So, and there would be in your stories. Is that all right?
I think carry on with the present, there's a couple more, but they can be dealt with again perhaps. Otherwise, it'll be a massive Q&A session.
Right, so content types. Once you've done your brainstorming, you know what content you're going to create. Is then thinking about, we've mentioned about content types in here now. What types of content does your audience engage with? Is it images? Is it polls? Is it reels? Is it stories? And ask your audience, like, you know, Kent and Medway Growth Hub and Smarter Society, the accelerator programme, whilst you're online, you've had these surveys to get people's feedback. Probably the people in the room here will fill in a feedback form. Get feedback from your audience. Like, how do you consume content online? What do you prefer to watch? Is it videos? Do you engage in stories? Ask your audience what types of content they engage with. But also the metrics will tell you that as well. What is your audience engaging with on your platform? Okay, go for it.
Yeah. How do you look into your metrics? I never know how to do that. Is that something you might show us?
Yeah, and there's a tool we use called Metrical. And Metrical, there's a free version of it and there's a paid version for it. And you put your social media sites in, it can schedule content, but every month it can send you an email with all of your metrics, your report. And it will show you some of your top performing content, what's your growth, all of that, what's your reach and your impressions. So I would definitely use a tool, or you could use your insights from the platforms. I prefer to have it all in one place. It's just eased. A bit of a dashboard, and our clients love a dashboard, so they can log in at any time to see that as well. But yeah, does that help? Yeah. Okay, so think about those content types. It's then about going to create the content, and this is a bit where you want to map out some time. I always tend to break up, I mean, for my own personal brand, I break up the different elements of the content. For our clients, the team will break it up as well. So they'll do the research, then they'll go and do the written work, and then they'll do the creative, and then we might do some, so we do something where we go out and do like a content session, like a content creation session, where we grab images and we take video clips to piece it all together. So think about your diary, how you could map that in. Because if you research and map it out, you can say, right, I need a filming day then, I need to do the writing then, and it can bring it all together for those 90 days. Yeah, yeah. And it sounds like a lot, but once you've got a really good system, you can just repeat that every 90 days. So for me, I spend 2 days every quarter. So I've got it at the end, 27th and 28th of February. I take myself away from the office and home. I almost call it my own personal brand retreat. And I go away on my own and I create my own personal brand content. Just get it all down on paper of what I'm going to do. Then on those 2 days, I'll book in my filming days. I'll know what other content I might need to create. Just completely mapped down. If it's for your own business, that's what I would do. If you're a business that's bigger and you've got a team, then teamwork is great, because you might have someone that does the graphic design, someone that does the filming, someone that does the writing. Okay. Okay. Then you schedule the stuff that's not changeable, like, you know, schedule the stuff that is not, I call it, so we have stuff that's quite generic, stuff that's not going to go out of date. We will schedule that stuff. If we're going to do reactive, so say, for example, today, I've got like a little box in my Metrical that says, make sure you take some photos at Coachworks. So I'm going to take those photos and I'll post them out tonight or I post them out when I get back. Makes sense? So I've got generic content and reactive content. Reactive content is always what does 100 times better than the generic content, but the reactive content is what gets your generic content really shown. Okay, so your behind the scenes stuff. And then I might have campaign content. My campaign content is like, for example, if we were to do an event, which is different to what we're is different to the generic and the react. So we have different campaigns that we then run as well. But scheduling is a great way to really help you manage time. Helps you manage that time. So you're not then thinking, oh, I've not posted that out today, or I've not done that. It's a great way for you to schedule, but also a great reminder of what you need to capture. Okay. Best times to post. There's a load of BS out there of best times to post, but I believe posting at a time when your audience are online is key. Because if you think about, when I mentioned earlier about time decay of the best times, like of how quickly your post can drop off that feed, I think it's really important to do it at a time when your audience are online. I've recently done a reel on my ZKen's my personal brand Instagram. I think it's only like, I think it was Sunday I posted it. It gives you like a little screenshot of the best times to post. Let me see if I can remember it. So 7 till 9 is the morning, like the morning bit. And I think it's 12 to 2 is the lunch break. 6 to 9 is the evening slot. Saturday is 11 till 12, and Sunday was 7 till 9 in the night. So Saturday's the morning. Yeah, does everyone get that? Have a look at the reel if you've not got it and just take a screenshot. But Metrical, the great thing about Metrical, there'll be other tools like Hootsuite and HubSpot and all of these other ones out there. We use Metrical. We love it. We think it's a great tool. Metrical gives you a grid, and it shades in the cells. The darker the cell, the more active your audience are at that time. So we can move the posts around at that time. Does that make sense? So best times to post. Engagement. Really key. I've only got a couple of slides left now. I hope that's all right.
Yeah, we've got time. We've got questions.
So engagement. So here are some daily, I would take a screenshot of this, definitely, if you've got it. If you're on the call, this is what you need to be doing. Here are some daily actions you can take. Are you right if I take a picture of you taking a picture? Love it. It's a really good picture. Good, Brian. It's a good picture, that. Right, so here's some daily actions. This is what I would be doing. You don't have to do this every single day. When our team do this every day, but you need to be doing this every other day, every third day, if you want to make sure that the algorithm increases your reach, how many people see your posts. Okay, so first of all, check your inbox messages and respond or archive, including the request inbox. I had someone come to me once and they go, I'm not getting any leads from social media. Went into their inbox, so we took the client on, went into the inbox, and there's a little box there called request inbox, and the amount of leads that they had in there. What happens is on Instagram, if someone follows you, if someone follows you but you don't follow them, if they was to message you, their message goes into a request inbox. Only the people that you follow back, their messages will come up. Does this make sense? So check your requests inbox, because there might be leads in there. All right. Check your posts for any comments or actions required. Another little tip, I always check engagement that was on yesterday's posts. So if I went in today, I would engage on yesterday's post, engage back with comments on yesterday's post, because that would get them back on the platform and hopefully seeing some of my posts today. Make sense? Check story views and any poll interactions. Poll interactions or story votes disappear after 24 hours, so make sure that you've checked those to follow up. And comment on, I put 3 to 9, depending on how long you've got. Comment on 3 to 9 other pages and profiles to help your engagement interaction with the algorithm. Now, the great thing about this is if you go and engage on another page, another profile, all of those people that could engage and comment, like could engage on there as well, might see your brand, might see you, and could come back to your profile. Does this make sense? And then connect with any new connections you might have met this week. So any of us in the room, like what I love about this, and I think more events should do it, is about, we have a board, a social board, where we write down our social sites and we connect with each other. We're all from the local area, we can all recommend each other, we can all help each other in some way. And I think that's what's great about social. So connect with each other when we have a break, make sure you get each other's social media site, you know, connect and engage. Okay, and then measurement. If we don't measure, we don't know whether we're improving. And what people do is, if we go on social and we see, right, okay, we're doing this type of post every single week, and it takes a lot of time and resources, but actually it's the worst performing post each week. What do you think we should do? Get rid of it. Do something different. Okay, so metrics tell us a lot. And I always say to people, put at least one date in your diary a month. So what we do, so with Metrical or any social media platform, you could run from like the 1st to the 31st, a whole month. And in that first week of the following month, we will then download all of the reports of the metrics. And the following week, we would have a meeting about the metrics with the client. Does that make sense? Or with ourselves about our own. And we look and see what is working, what's not working, has there been growth, was there any peaks? You know, what post's done that? That's brilliant. Or if there's any troughs, like, whoa, what happened there? Why did we get loads of unfollows? We analyse it to then really analyse, because what we do, as soon as we've analysed, what we then do is say, right, okay, what are we going to do next month for the content? How are we going to change that up? Because we don't want that to happen again, or we want to get more of that. Measurement is so important. There's so many tools out there now. You can get the insights in the platform itself, but measurement is key. Your answers are in the metrics. And the great thing is, you know, celebrate those small wins. You know, even if you've got another 25 followers and you're up to like 700 new followers, 700 followers, that's still a win. But 25 new people that are interested in what you do.
When you get those new followers, would you then do a post about welcome my new followers or anything like that? Is that another engagement?
You can. There are people that do like they will like reach out and do a message. Sometimes I feel that can be too much depending on what you're doing, especially if you're selling in that message. What I would personally do, what we've done in the past, is that for very new accounts, you can either do if they come to your profile, you want to try and get them to your profile. So as soon as they follow you, make sure in your stories you say welcome to new followers. Don't tag them, but just say, you know, visit my profile. You might put a link to visit the profile, to check your about, to check the little tabs that you've got in there. So make it subtle. I would do it in a story. Just say welcome new followers. I think that's really nice. Don't name them. But just say, you know, we've had this amount of new followers this month, and really, you know, or we've had a number of new followers this month. We just want to welcome you to the community. I would definitely do that. Okay. And then, like I mentioned, remember to really repurpose content. And this is another session, but I wanted to highlight this to you because there's a few tips in here, right? So if you were to take a main piece of content, whether that's a blog, a video, or a podcast, you could then take those pieces of content and really break it down into multiple others. So, for example, me and Gareth have got a podcast that we've just done. The podcast broke down to 16 mini reels, right? 16. We've done a 37-minute podcast. It broke down into 16 mini reels that we could use across social with key messages in it. A blog post could be created into a carousel post. It could be created into 4 social media posts, which are educational, 4 fact posts, and 4 promotional posts. Blog can be created into 16 posts, right? It can be created into 4 polls. It can be created into 4 newsletters. I can go on. It can be broken down into so much if you get that initial blog right. So think about how you're going to break down your content. And like I mentioned, I've got a link that I can send over to Brian where you can access. I've got like a little 7-day video course that you can access that will show you step by step how to repurpose stuff. Okay, and then I've got any questions, Brian?
Oh, have we?
Let me go on to here. Actually, I'll put this
See
on.
that like that. So,
Oh no, or do you want me to put this Celebrate one on?
Whatever, yeah, because that,
Yeah.
the programme of events, there is key, guys, because there's a couple of events that I will speak about shortly. So let me just get back up again. So you've got questions and I'll ask them for the people online, so you can see me again. Yeah, so just the QR code that's in there is the link to the events, but the next one is the 25th of February. It's at Dreamland in Margate.
Oh.
Mastering Sales Success, Essentials to Fast Track Growth. It's online and in person, but I recommend you visit because it's always nice to have a great networking event to push your business. Then there is another one which I've actually been on myself, obviously as part of this another program, which is the 26th, which is the day after. It's Small Business Finance Health Check, which is extremely useful for business. They touch upon stuff that you just do not think about, and there's a lot of help out there for that type of thing, which is, again, like I said, online. The link is there, the QR code, so scan that and it's an Eventbrite. If you click follow on that, it will bring up all of the other events as part of this Kent and Medway Growth Hub Accelerate program. So with regards to the questions, and thank you very much, guys, for posting the questions. Hillary asks, should you post different content on Instagram and Facebook, or is it okay to share the same content to both platforms?
This is really good, and there's always mixed responses to this. So you can alternate the content. So say, for example, you've got, I'm just going to take Reels as an example, right? You've got 7 Reels for the week. You might say, right, Reel 1 will go out on Instagram, but Reel 2 will go out on Facebook. You can alternate it. But you could also, I mean, I've got different audiences on different platforms. Like my audience on LinkedIn are definitely not on Instagram. Well, the majority of them are not on Instagram. So I do post the same that goes on LinkedIn and on Instagram that have got key messages for my audience. So I would just test to see if you're getting the same people engage with like both posts, and I would change it up.
Yeah, because the one thing with regards to that, Instagram, I'm not on.
No,
Facebook,
exactly.
I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'm a different age demographic than other people. I simply won't be seen on certain other.
Yeah.
TikTok, for instance, people send me stuff, I don't see it on there because I'm not part of that community. So you look at the type of age group that you're trying to attract. Is it the older people? Perhaps Facebook might be the key one. Is it the younger guys? Perhaps TikTok might be the more suitable.
Yeah.
An anonymous attendee has asked, is AI a good tool to create content? And do you need to state that this post was created using AI if you don't use AI generated content? So in other words, do you tell people that this is AI generated?
So definitely with images, I would state that it is AI. But with the text, I don't recommend you just, I've seen some horrendous stuff online that comes straight from AI. If you're taking your content straight from ChatGPT into your platform, like straight into the platform and posting it as it is, don't do that, because the platform will recognize it. I use a tool called Grammarly. I will take the idea around the post into Grammarly and some of the words, so it's even down to the words, are you telling ChatGPT to not use ChatGPT words? Like if I see call in all, boost, dive, foster, elevate, I know that you've used ChatGPT, and it might be part of your tone of voice and language. I didn't see many of those words used before ChatGPT come out. So I use Grammarly, and the great thing about Grammarly is when you start to tweak it into your own tone of voice and language. Now, my Grammarly uses the history of how I've edited my content. So I've got goals in there of what I want my content to be like and what my language is. So I'll make sure that it's English UK language. And what Grammarly will tell me is the percentage of my goal for my content. It will tell me if the content that I've got there is plagiarized, can it see it from anywhere else on the internet, and does it look like it's detected AI? So if it will show me, say for example, I've only tweaked it slightly, it will say this is AI detected is really high in this. And you need to make sure that you're tweaking your content to your own tone of voice and language, and remembering who your audience are, because that content that ChatGPT put out, if you've not trained it and you're not tweaking it, people will just scroll through because they're seeing the same stuff.
Question from Beatrice. I use Meta Business Suite, which cross posts everything I put on Facebook, business page, and Insta automatically. Is this sensible, or should I be putting different things on each platform? You kind of answered that for me. So, a nice question. Does Instagram, Facebook, and or TikTok work for B2B?
Yeah, it does. B2B. What about the individuals that are B2B that are personally looking on those platforms that could notice something, bookmark it, and take it back into their work life? And a lot of businesses are on those platforms now engaging. The only obstacle you might have is when you reach out to them via those platforms, that it's their social media team. But if you see them interacting, you can very much then get over to LinkedIn and start searching for those individuals to reach out to.
What is the best way to...
can I add something on there as well?
Sorry,
And Facebook is massive for different business groups. So you can put Kent Business Group or Essex Business Group, and you can find businesses from different areas in there as well. Great for networking.
We use
yeah, it's brilliant.
You guys would have seen the advertisements from us for this program on there, which works very, very well, I might add. What is the best way to learn the use of LinkedIn?
Oh, the best way?
Yeah, is there, or can we touch upon a couple of quick...
I can give some quick tips. First place to start is to obviously complete your profile. To learn is using it. Like, the only way that you could go wrong on LinkedIn is to connect with the wrong people, to bombard them with sales messages, or to send out a message that you don't think is public and you think is private and it is public. Does that make sense? You say the wrong thing. So go and experiment with it. I do have a few videos. I hope it's okay for me to say. I do have a few videos on my YouTube channel. So I've got one that's coming out on the 5-step checklist of LinkedIn, and I've got one on there at the moment of the best performing posts on LinkedIn. So go and check that out. Also, LinkedIn, if you're in premium, you get something called LinkedIn Learning. So if you've got the premium account on LinkedIn, they do something, used to be called Linda. It's not Linda anymore, it's called LinkedIn Learning. But they've got LinkedIn Learning on there. So I hope that helps.
On Instagram, Anonymous again, there is so much information in the insight section, which is a bit over my head. Are there a top few that you would suggest to look at, i.e. profile visits, accounts reached?
This all depends on your goals. Remember, we spoke about identifying your goals. Each goal will have a certain amount of metrics that you would measure for each one. And it's so timely. I really hope this is all right for me to say. I've just done a blog about this today. The top 10 metrics to consider, which I'll send you the link for, or send you the actual blog document. Because in the blog document, I give you, say you've got a goal, say you've got awareness, you want to actually measure how much awareness you get. You need to measure the metric of reach, the unique number of people you're getting in front of, and you want to measure the impressions. If you want to build a community, the metrics you want to measure is engagement rate, and also you want to measure the reach as well, the amount of people you get in front of, and your followers. Whereas if you want to measure the amount of traffic, you want to look in your Google Analytics and look at your traffic sources and see what platforms are directing what traffic. Does this make sense? And if you're looking to build your email list, how many emails have you attracted into your email list? Like that, yeah. There's some metrics there.
Before I jump in as usual.
Yeah, cool.
Like we were saying earlier about doing the post, like for me, like questions about comparisons and all that. When you are your brand, how many posts should you do that include yourself in them? Like, do you know what I mean? Like not personal, but what I'm doing or.
I think it really depends on what you're going to do with your business. Like, if you're growing your business to grow, and this is not a mistake that or a learning that I've learned. Like when I first started out, I never thought my business would go where it was. And at one point, I thought I might look to sell my business, but then I am the business. Does that make sense? And I thought so much of my own personal brand into that business that it is about me, like not being horrible, but I've brought my personal brand in. So I would think about, what is your goal for your overall business? Do you want to sell it, or is it a lifestyle business? If it's a lifestyle business, bring as much as you in as you want, because people want to see behind the brand. They want to see who they're working with. They want to see who they're going to be meeting with for a coffee. They want to build that know, like, and trust with you. So I would consider, first of all, what is the vision for your company? And then I would then think, if it is a lifestyle one, bring in your personal brand. If it's to sell the business, you need not too much of you, because eventually when you go to sell it, unless you're going to be still part of the business, might not have been there. But I would say, remember I mentioned about 1 out of 4 posts should be promotional?
Yeah.
1 out of 4 posts bring in you. So for example, I'll do 4, like a post every day, but one of them might be my come with me. I'm off to do this and it's about me. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Yeah, good. Anyone else? Yeah, go for it.
It's kind of on the 2-part.
Yeah.
One, does putting like your website link affect your reach and engagement?
Good question. Good
and then
question.
the other one is, how often should you put your website into your posts?
Oh, so good. Such a good question. A question here on the offline is, should we put a link in our posts? So if you're putting a link in every single post, I'd get you to rethink it, because that will have an effect on the algorithm. Ultimately, we want everyone to go to, to click on our link to go to our website or wherever we want them to go. If you put a link in every single post, that will have a negative effect. Lots of people were putting a link in the comment, and what we start with LinkedIn, we were starting to see that we were getting more increased reach. There was no drop in reach when we put the link in the comment. In Facebook and Instagram, there are people that say, oh, you shouldn't put a link in your posts. Like, when you do a post, the link's not clickable. And some people say, oh, it doesn't make a difference whether you put a link in there or not. But if someone's sitting there trying to click on a link, that could be really frustrating. And if you've then not put there, see the link in the bio, they're just going to go on. I would definitely say see link in bio. Because if someone's trying to click on your link, they can't even click on it to copy it. That's going to be frustrating and you could potentially lose them. So Instagram, they're not clickable links in the grid posts, but they are clickable in the story. I would definitely, think about putting your, just testing A/B test, what works for you, what doesn't. Facebook, I would just say, 1 out of 4 posts promotional with the link, the others are really good content. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. It wasn't too yeah. Definitely put the links in your Instagram.
Gerald asks, you generally choose Instagram in your examples. Does this imply that you regard it as a key platform?
Oh. It's just probably because I've presumed that you're a lot of B2C. If you're B2B, LinkedIn is the platform that you should. I mean, LinkedIn is probably the one that I'm biggest on. And LinkedIn is great for B2B. Like, LinkedIn is a platform where I build my list, where I get the most contacts, I get the most business, because that's the B2B side of my business. But bigger businesses, like medium to larger size businesses, for smaller businesses, it definitely works on Instagram and Facebook for me. Does that make sense? So I've got a mixture of knowledge across all of them. LinkedIn, like I said, I absolutely love. I could talk to you about LinkedIn for weeks. But Instagram is definitely, I would say Instagram is the preferable platform across Meta at the moment. Facebook, people feel like Facebook has died in terms of growth. But if you're posting reels on a regular basis, it's going to help you still get in front of new people and grow your following. So it's a shame I've not got my profiles up on the platform, because I would show you that over the last month, I've actually got 53 new followers on my Facebook page just by consistently posting every single day. And if you do that every single day and you make sure you're pushing reels out to a new audience. So if you always think about reels are a way to get in front of a new audience, right? And your grid posts and your stories is to engage your existing audience. If you're just putting posts out on your grid on Facebook, you're only really trying to engage your current audience. You need to be getting out to new audience as well. Does this make sense? Yeah, go for it.
How can you transfer, for example, I've got a reel that's however got 8,000 views, but then I haven't got 8,000 followers. So how do you get set followers from that reel to then follow? Does that make sense?
Did you give them a call to action at the end?
No.
Did you tell them to follow you?
No.
Tell them what you want them to do.
Just
Yeah. And the other thing you can do, if you want to put a bit of ad spend behind it, you could actually create, and I'm going a little bit advanced here now, but you can create an audience, a custom audience in Facebook ads that say all of the people that engage with my reel, show them this ad to come and sign up to my email list for a free download on powerlifting. Make sense?
Yeah.
Grab them back. Yeah.
What's the best way of managing like multiple accounts if you've got different like businesses? So you might work like daytime, like 9 to 5, and you might have some little side hustles that you run as well.
I would still do the 90-day plan for each one. I would. Sorry, yeah.
That ties in nicely with this one. There's a guy that's got 30+ social media accounts for clients. Do I need to engage in posts? So,
Yeah.
Perhaps you can answer the post.
You definitely need. So first of all, I'll answer the guy in the room, and I'll come back to the guy. And so I would allocate separate research time, because sometimes it become a little bit muddled, and I would treat them both as a separate project. I would go and do the research, know the audience for both, and treat them both as separate businesses. I know that if you're running a business out of work and it's your side hustle, I would think about trying to do it on an evening, on a weekend, and doing your research. But yeah, I would definitely pre-plan with it, that 90 days again. And then if you're doing engagement, you could do the engagement. The engagement will take about 20 minutes to half an hour each day. Yeah.
That's good.
And then got to the question for online.
So this, let me specify. So I'm managing 30+ social media accounts for clients. Do I need to be the one engaging in posts, or is that down to the client?
You should know this answer. You must engage every day for the client. So the client hasn't got time. The client has outsourced that project to you. Set the expectations at the start to say whether you're going to do the engagement or not. Engagement is a really important part of our service to get the audience engaged, to increase the reach and more eyeballs on that content. When we've engaged, if we've got any question that we can't answer because it's technical or it's something we can't answer, we would email the client and say, we've had a question in your inbox or on one of your posts. This is what we're going to respond with. Are you happy with that? Or do you have an alternative way in which you would like us to respond? If the company, and you've set the expectation out in the outset, have a sales team that are relying on those comments for sales, then you might have an agreement that they will do the engagement. But the engagement is a really important part of the social media service. So number one, it comes back to what's the expectations? Does the client presume that you're going to do the engagement? And number two, if they're not being responded to, yeah, that definitely needs to be picked up. I hope that makes sense. You will see a massive impact in the analytics as soon as you start to engage, if that engagement's not being done. I hope that helps. And just to add there, if you are someone that's managing 30 accounts, I would definitely get one person that is your social media manager doing that engagement, as it is a sole job in itself.
Do you have any view, sorry, Gerald asks this question, do you have any views on newer platforms such as Substack and Blue Sky?
Oh yeah. Blue Sky's our X, so Twitter, where everyone has come away from X. Well, not everyone. Some people have come away from X that are not liking the platform at the moment, and Blue Sky is very much an alternative. A lot of people that are very in love with Instagram and Facebook would have gone to the Meta platform Threads. Blue Sky is growing every day. Again, a platform you could look at. And what was the other one? It was Substack.
Substack.
Substack is very much a blogging site where you can go and almost have like an online newsletter where you get people come and join to receive your regular blogs, your regular articles. It's a growing platform. So if you like writing, definitely a platform to go if you've got a lot of wording and a lot of text and that type of resource, but both really reputable. Definitely Substack is definitely a reputable one to go with. Blue Sky is relatively new, so we'll just see where it goes. Give them a go. I always say give a platform a trial for 3 months and see how you get on. But if you're already, you know, thinly spreading yourself across the ones that you've currently got, get results from them first before dabbling with the next one. Anyone else?
I'm waiting to see if you guys will put your hand up first. Carolina asks, I add branding elements to company pictures in Photoshop and they are getting tagged as an AI content, even if it's not. Does it affect engagement on LinkedIn? Is there a solution to that?
First of all, my question would be, what branding elements are they? If they're the constant logo, so one of the things the algorithm absolutely used to hate on Meta was when people would do pictures, you know, like when someone does a poster and it's got loads of text on it, right? Someone would put a post out on social and they'd say, come along to my event, put all the information in the caption, then put the poster with all the information. And the Facebook algorithm used to say, if there's any more than 25% text in the image, it will decrease the reach. So my thing would be, what are you putting on the image? Is it just a logo? Is the logo on there because it's photographic stuff or for copyright reasons? And if that is, then fair enough. But if it is just on every single image, do you need it on every single image? That would be my comeback. And I don't think it would have massive effect. With the AI, I'm really not sure on the AI question as to why that's picking up. Are you using AI to generate the images before you put the branding image on?
We've got roughly 10 minutes left, so there's still some questions coming in thick and fast, so we'll try and get through as many as possible, but unfortunately there might not be answers to every one of them because we do need to wrap up very shortly. Sky asks, if you have too many inactive followers, would it have a negative impact? We've done that one, we've done that one, apologies. I'm good with Instagram, but Facebook not so much. Would you say it's better to have one good social media that you can keep on top of, and one good one, and one that looks good or poor? So in other words,
right. So Facebook is good. So if you were to go and put someone's company name in, one of the top platforms that comes up is first of all LinkedIn and then Facebook, right? As long as you're posting on Facebook and you've got a presence on there, especially if you started a page, it'll look worse if you don't post. And then with Instagram, I think it's best to have one platform that you're really good at rather than trying to thinly spread yourself across too many. So I would personally, if you're struggling in terms of keeping up with it, reduce the number of times that you post to it, but just keep it consistent. So if you're posting 3 times a week and you can't manage that, rather than leaving it completely empty, I would just do one post a week. Doesn't look as negative then.
yeah, good answer.
That's all right.
Sorry, just answering the question. Finished.
Yeah, don't thinly spread. I think otherwise it will just, if you thinly spread yourself across too many platforms, then you're it won't look as good on any. Does that make sense? I'd rather you concentrate on one. And then, you know, there's so many social media gurus out there that say, be on everything. That is really hard to be on everything really good all of the time. Choose one and be really good on one. Go for it.
Have you got sort of any thoughts on affiliated links with sort of companies and products that I use?
And TikTok are now, a new update we got probably around about 3 weeks ago, are now introducing where they're going to accept affiliated product links through your profile. So they're working on that at the moment. Normally what happens when TikTok works on it, Meta then follows.
Okay.
So again, as long as it's got no bad reputation around the link, I think you're fine, and just monitor your metrics.
I also have a landing page for a specific
Perfect,
website. So that,
yeah. Is it your own website?
well, it's the Scandinavian company that
Okay.
I work with.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Yeah.
that's accepted in all those usual sort of forums, is it? Facebook, Insta.
Yeah, as long as the link's not been blacklisted or anything like that, which you'll soon know, because when you post something, someone might say to you, "Oh, I just tried to click on your link, but it's warning me." So you'll soon find out whether it's something that's not recommended. All right.
So two more, I believe we've pretty much touched on it. Are hashtags really important to use?
So lots of people, so hashtags used to be really key. We used to put up to 30 hashtags in each post. Now Missouri, head of Instagram, has come out saying, well, first of all, it went down to like 5 to 9. Then he was saying 2 to 5. They can no longer be used as a way to gain that visibility and that engagement. Because basically, if people find your post and your content's not great anyway, they're not going to engage. So I would choose ones that are very specific niche hashtags rather than doing really broad ones. Still use around 2 to 5 of them. They have removed now, they were removing that you could no longer go to an explore and type and do a hashtag search. So they are removing that, which only equates to, are they as relevant as they used to be? So
One more from Anonymous, and then I'm not that comfortable doing video, but it seems to be the most what most businesses are using. What is your view on whether I should use video or just still images?
video is a way to grow. It increases that visibility. So if you just want to continue to engage your audience with images and polls and stories, then fine. But with videos, you can do video content without having to be in the video yourself. So for example, there's stuff called B-roll content, which is where if I was doing a video for today and I'd done a sweeping shot of the room when I come in, then that would be called a B-roll clip, and I'd do about 7 to 10 seconds, piece all the little bits together, and you could do a voiceover, or you could do just text on the video. So it's still movable, and it's got music on it as an example, so you can still do video, but maybe not so much of you getting in front of the camera if you didn't want to. I do think it's an important part of your content strategy, though, to get seen.
Faye asks, how do you get these emails from the different platforms about the updates? Is it automatic?
No, just I follow certain people online to literally find out what's new and what's current. So there's a lot of big other social media people out there that I follow. I'm also part of a few meta groups. And I've also got a mentoring group in the States. The States are always like 9 months ahead of us. So my job is to keep up to date. So it's just finding trustable resources or people that you find online that you can follow, that you get the latest from.
Okay, so the last 5 minutes, there's a couple of questions with regards to, they would like your hashtag, or you can give your Instagram again.
Yeah.
And using trending audios on Instagram important?
Yeah. And I'm all right to go back a slide. Oh, let me, at the bottom of this slide is my Instagram account at zcairns, which you're welcome to go and follow me on. And then the trending audio. So trending audio is important to put on your right. So there's a few areas you could put trending audio on. Number one, putting trending audio now on carousel posts, which are multiple images that you swipe across. The reason being, if you put audio on carousel posts now, it can potentially show your carousel post in the explore page to get more eyeballs on your content. And trending audio you can put on stories and you can put on reels. Now, when you're choosing trending audio, the audio I would always recommend has only under 10,000 reels that it's been added to. So it'll have an up arrow next to it, and it will say less than 10,000 reels it's been posted to. Because if you jump on that early, that will help you in getting seen by more people. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, done. Perfect.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much there. That's all the questions, all the time we have for the questions. I'd just like to say to the people online, that was one of the best Q&As we've ever had, with the most amount of questions, which I really thank you for, because it obviously helps a great deal. It helps me ask it, so you get real value from this. Like I said, there will be content coming out to everybody in the room. Satisfaction survey and polls. We really do value your opinions on the content that we've delivered and what Zoe's done. Please use the hashtags that you've been shown and the ways of contacting Zoe if there's any other help that you would potentially like from Zoe with regards to social media. I would like also to again mention the 2 upcoming events where you'll see me again. So it's, like I said, it's in person and online, in Dreamland Margate, Mastering Sales Success, Essentials to Fast Track Your Growth. It's online and in person. Again, a great opportunity. Yes, ma'am.
Quick question on that one. Who's delivering the presentation?
Well, I will be there. The details are on the Eventbrite of who's the main presenter, and I will be there, obviously. Again, all of the people who are presenting these are on the actual Eventbrite link, full names and businesses that they represent. And again, the 26th, which is online only, this is the finance health check. Again, like I've said, I've done this and I've been there in for this. It's extremely useful, and it will help you out in ways that you don't even know you need help with. So with that, I'd like to thank the guys online and invite you to them other events. But thanks very much. Cheers.